Okay, so we're going to get started because I know that you all are very anxious to get to know what we have to offer and all that good stuff. Um, and so I wanted to take out the time to introduce you to all of the stuff that CEED has to offer for this year. My name is Dr. DeAnna Katey. I am the Director for Undergraduate Student Programs here at CEED. And for those who don't know, CEED stands for the Center for the Enhancement of Engineering Diversity. And I also am joined by some of our current students who help out with some of the CEED programs that we have. So here's a little bit more information about CEED. So we initially started as a part of the student support within the College of Engineering, and where CEED is here just to assist students to make a easy transition from high school to college, and then also when they become students at Virginia Tech, we're here to help support them throughout their time here at Virginia Tech and to assist with them going into their careers. So you can receive additional information about CEED at www.eng.vt.edu/CEED. We have been in existence for almost 30 years. Next year will actually be 30 years. And it was initially started by Dr. Beverly Watford, who is still the director of CEED, and she is also the assistant dean for diversity for the College of Engineering here at Virginia Tech. So she started this back in 1992 to help underrepresented minorities be successful here at Virginia Tech. One thing about Hypatia and Galileo, there are two programs that we offer here at Virginia Tech, and Hypatia has been in existence for 20 years. It started in 2001, and then Galileo has been in existence for 16 years. It started in 2005. And so with Galileo and Hypatia, these are our two living learning programs that we have on campus. We actually started these so long ago that we were one of the first, or some of the first living learning communities on Tech's campus. And the purpose of Galileo and Hypatia is to make sure that students are involved on campus and that you have a community of students that you can go to, and a community of students that you have some type of common ground with. And the students who live in or participate in Galileo and Hypatia actually have to stay on campus their first year. They stay in Hoge Hall, and that's a building of almost 800 students. And at this point for next year, moving forward, all students who live in Hoge Hall, except for the resident assistants, they actually are a part of Galileo and Hypatia. So every student that you come in contact with outside of the resident assistants are those students who participated in Galileo and Hypatia as first year students. And Hypatia and Galileo are only for students who are in the College of Engineering. So only students who are actually considered general engineering students are participants of Galileo and Hypatia. And you can live in Hypatia and Galileo for more than 1 year. So after your first year, if you think that you are interested or you love the community so much that you want to give back to the community, and you want to stay after your first year, you can apply to become an upper class leader. And what that is essentially those students who work with the first year students. They create the programming for the first year students. They have a bunch of different other things that they do with the first year students. And they live there in Hoge Hall during their sophomore year. And they work with the students throughout that entire second year. And on the professional development side for the sophomore year students, they actually take a class that's dedicated to Galileo and Hypatia for the sophomore students. And then they also receive professional development as well as participants for the second year. And during the third and fourth years, if you are interested in becoming a Hypatia leadership team member, you have that option to do that as well. You have to apply to stay as an upper class leader, and then you also have to apply to be a Hypatia leadership team member. And for the GLT members, you don't have to stay on campus after your second year. So once you're a GLT member, you have the option to move off campus. And I see that there are some things, some questions that may have popped up in the box in the chat box. At the end of this, you will have plenty of opportunities to ask any questions that you need. So I'll get to all of those questions at the end of the presentation. And so with Hypatia and Galileo, it's designed to help students transition from high school from high school to college, like I said before, and then also going from college into your career. So not only do we help you as a first year student through your time as a Hokie, we also help students get acclimated to interviewing and all of that stuff. So we have career expos and things like that within the College of Engineering that will help you get connected with different corporate partners to help you get a job after college. So we not only want you to come to Virginia Tech to be a student and participate in Galileo and Hypatia, but we also want you to be successful and get a career after you graduate with that engineering degree. And we make it so that Hypatia and Galileo, it feels like a community or a home inside of your new home as a Hokie. So it's not just we throw you in a residence home, we just leave you to do whatever or to float on your own, but we actually create that home away from home experience for all of our students. So for not last year, but the year before, we pretty much had a very big retention and GPA impact on our students. So for Hypatia and Galileo students, we had at least 98% of our students who participated as a first year student to come back to the community or actually come back to Virginia Tech in the next year for their second year. With the control group for students in general who did not participate in any type of CEED programming, we had there was a 96% retention rate for those students who didn't participate, but were in the College of Engineering. And then also the average GPA for the students who participated in Hypatia and Galileo for last year, for 2018-2019 was 3.34 for Hypatia and then 3.36 for Galileo. And as you can see with the control group, which is are those students who did not participate in any CEED programming, it was a 3.13. So if you look at this, all of the students who participate within, or most of the students who participate within Hypatia and Galileo, they are greatly impacted by the experience, and they have all of the support that they need in order for them to be successful. So for this year, currently, we have around 350 first year students who are in Galileo and around 300 students who are in Hypatia. And we're going to try and keep it consistent with next year. I'm sorry, actually for next year, for the 2021-2022 year, we're going to have 350 Galileo students and 300 Hypatia students. And if we can even that out, that would be great. To try and equalize the number of women and men in the communities. For anyone who is staying in Galileo, you have half of the third floor in Hoge Hall. You have the fourth and fifth through the seventh floors that are specifically for the men for Galileo. And then for the women in Hypatia, we actually have 61 Hypatia upper class leaders. And then the floors that the women stay on is the ground floor, first floor, and second floor, and then half of the third and fourth floors. And the students have the option to choose where they want to live. It's not a guarantee that they'll get that room, but they have an option to choose whether or not they want to live on an all-male floor or an all-female floor, or if they want to live on a co-ed floor. And so the goals of Hypatia and Galileo for the first year is to make sure that you get that student support that you need during your first year. And as I said before, it helps you to transition from high school to college. The first year of Galileo and Hypatia, it does require you to be a part of the first year seminar class that takes place throughout the week. You meet one day of the week in class, and then it's worth 2 credit hours, and it's taught actually by some graduate students. Most of them are engineering students, but next year I know that we're going to have some higher ed students who are coming in as graduate students who are going to teach the class. And then also we do have CEED staff who teach the Hypatia or Galileo classes as well. And each student who comes into Hypatia or Galileo, they will be assigned an upper class mentor, and you're going to meet with them every week for the first 10 weeks of the semester. And during the summer, you should, I would say around the beginning of August, you should receive information on who your mentor is going to be. And so your mentor is going to reach out to you and ask you how you're doing and introduce themselves to you, and pretty much give you all of the information that you need to know about the coming couple of weeks before you move into to Hoge Hall. And then for the upper class students who are interested in coming back for their second year to be an upper class leader, there's a structure to this. There are 11, I believe, different committees that you can be on. So each upper class leader has to serve in a particular committee. And you also have to take a 1-credit leadership course. And those committees range from academic support to studio training. And each week we have different programs and activities and events that correlate with these different committees that the students have to be a part of. Excuse me. So if you want to be an upper class leader, you have to apply to be an upper class leader, and we'll select the students based on who applies to become an upper class leader. But then also, if you want to take it a step further and become a mentor for the first year students who are coming in the next year, then you actually have to apply to be a mentor, and then you also have to interview to be a mentor. So we interview all of our students who are interested in mentors, and then we select them based on their interviews. And not everyone is selected to be a mentor. Sometimes it's not a good fit. Sometimes we believe that students need more time to develop to become a mentor. And so the mentor process for Hypatia is selective. And all mentors and committee members have to live in the community during their next year. So if you're interested in being an upper class leader, if you're interested in being a mentor, you have to make sure that you have to live on campus the next year during your sophomore year. And then, like I said before, if you become a leadership team member, you don't have to stay on campus, but it's an option for you to stay within Hoge Hall. And we do currently have some students who are Hypatia leadership team members who actually stay their whole 4 years. So, Haritha, are you one of those or no?
No, I'm not, but I know 2 people who are.
Okay. I know that there are a few people who still live on campus and they're about to graduate. And then also the GLT members, those leadership team members, they also are mentors to the upper class leaders. So as an upper class leader, you could potentially be a mentor. And as a GLT member, you actually have that ability, or you're given the responsibility of mentoring the students who are in your committee. If you are a committee liaison for the upper class leaders, or a mentor liaison, which are those upper class leaders or the 3rd and 4th year students who mentor the mentor. So your mentors will actually have a mentor that they have to go to as well. And one of the biggest things, the greatest things about being a part of living in Hoge Hall and being a part of Galileo and Hypatia is that we have our own studio within the residence hall. So on the 2nd floor, we have the event studio, and this is it's on the 2nd floor with the Studio 1 and 2. And the Studio 1 is a design space where we have 3D printers. We have a bunch of other CNC machines and all of that good, fun stuff that you all can use to be creative and make whatever you want to make with it. I'm not an engineer. I'm not an engineer by trade. I stepped into a role of being a part of engineering. So I don't know what all of these machines are, but I am learning. Over the summer, I do plan to go to studio to get to learn the machines. And Haritha's clapping because she's just, because I've been saying this for a year, like I want to go in to learn how to use the machine. So I'm excited about that. So you might see me in there making stuff if you decide to come to us. And then also we have Studio 2, which is a study space for students on the 2nd floor as well, which is right across the hall from Studio 1. So this is the opportunity for students to use it as a study space for groups. And then also we have like different events and things in there as well. And the studio is managed by graduate students as well. So we have 2 graduate students at this time and a team of upper class leaders. So we have the 2 graduate students who are specifically for this studio as well. So as you can see, here are some pictures of the studio. It looks a little different right now. Some of the machines were moved around. We also have the different partitions and things that are up to kind of spread everyone out. So we had to change the number of or availability of the machines or the usage for this year because of Corona. Next year, we're hoping for everything to go back to normal. And here are some pictures of some things that were taking place. If I'm not mistaken, the top left picture is of one of our events that we have every Friday night called Slush Rush. And this is some staff and corporate people who are coming to speak to the students about what they do and networking with students. And here are some different competition teams that we support in the studio: the Rocketry team, NASA Micro G Next, and some other ones that are coming next year. And I would show you the Hoge Hall. Well, actually, no, we'll show you, if we have time at the end, we can show you the Hoge Hall tour. So for the application process for Galileo and Hypatia, we actually are already open for applications, and we will stay open. The application process will stay open until full. Most of the times with Hypatia and Galileo, we don't stay open past the beginning of May. So if you're interested in becoming a member of Galileo or Hypatia, you have to make sure that you get your application in sooner rather than later. Decisions are made on a rolling basis. What that means is that every Monday I go into the system, I pull all of the applications that have been submitted since last week, and I send them off to a committee of people for them to review. And then the following week, I get those answers for the different applications, and I send the answers out. So if you apply on Monday before 8 a.m., I will get your application and send it off, and you'll get a decision that very next week. If you submit your application after 8 a.m. on Monday, it's not a guarantee that you're going to get your application reviewed for that week. So you may not hear back for 2 weeks. And as I said before, Hypatia and Galileo applications are reviewed by a team of people. So we have a team of our GOT members who review the applications, as well as a graduate student who helps with that process as well. And we are the only live and learning community on Virginia Tech's campus that allows you to apply to the community before you are accepted. So you can go on our website and you'll see the application to submit it before you're accepted, or before you accept your admission to the university. One thing that I will say is that we have a lot of people who submit the application before they are admitted, and then they'll go back before they hear back from us and submit a second one. Please don't do that because it makes it more difficult for us to keep track of who's applying and things like that. So if you have applied before you accept your admission to the university, hold off on going to StarRes and putting in the application. You can, once you hear back from us, once you're accepted, you'll get information on how to proceed with the application process. And here are some information on what you can do to apply and what we look for within the Galileo and Hypatia community. Pretty much with the community, we're looking for students who understand that all of you all are engineering students, but at the same time, everybody is not the same. We have students who come from different backgrounds, different walks of life, different areas of the world. We have students from all over, and we are very big in stressing diversity and understanding that not everybody has those same opportunities, and not everybody has the same experiences as everyone else. So Galileo and Hypatia, we stress diversity. The CEED department, we stress diversity within the community. Not everyone is going to be the same, and that's okay. And we make sure that the students are learning the differences, what the differences is between people who come from different areas, and trying to build that cohesive community so that people understand you might be different, but we are still accepting you. So another program that we have for first-year students is a CEED Peer Mentoring Program. So if you're not interested in, or if you don't get accepted into Hypatia or Galileo, you do have that option to apply to the CEED Peer Mentoring Program. And the CEED Peer Mentoring Program was one of the first, it was actually the first opportunity for students to become a part of the diversity initiative that started back in 1992. And so it is actually ran by one graduate student, and there's undergraduate students who are the peer leaders who work with a team of mentors. So each peer leader, we have, I believe, 8 or 9 peer leaders coming for next year. They each have a group of mentors that they mentor throughout the year or throughout the fall semester. And we have around 100 mentors coming for next year. So the groups of mentor teams that we have is AORA, which is the Academic Hispanic Outreach Alliance. We have BEST, which is the Black Engineering Support Teams. We have West, Women in Engineering Support Teams, and then we have Guest, General Undergraduate Engineering Support Team. So if you don't fit in either Ahora, Best, or West, you can join Guest, or even if you fit in one of those categories, but you don't want to be a part of one of those mentor teams, then you can register to be a part of Guest. And this is specifically for first-year students. You don't have to live on campus if you want to be a part of this mentoring program. You don't have to stay in Hoge Hall, but you have 10 weeks of targeted mentorship opportunities for you. And it's the same thing as it was with our Galileo and Hypatia students. You meet once a week with your team or your group of mentor mentees, and for the first 10 weeks of the semester. And then you get 2 free meals from us. So we encourage our students, our mentors, to take all of their students out to eat a meal somewhere. Either it can be on campus or it can be off campus. Most people go off campus. And this meal is on us. It's on CEED. And then we also have 3 large CEED sponsored events for those students who are in the peer mentoring program. So we have the what is it called? Expo preview for the students, where we have one of our corporate sponsors to come in and give interview tips and tricks and all that stuff. And then we also, before the beginning of the semester, we have OSHO, which is where you have the opportunity to get to know the different organizations that are within the College of Engineering. And then we also have Major Scoop, which is pretty much an opportunity for us to feed you once again. You get ice cream, and then you're able to learn about the different majors that are available for you to apply to for the next year. So each mentor group has, on average, around 8 students per group. So they're pretty small. It gives you an opportunity to not only know that mentor, but it gives you that opportunity to get to know some other students within the College of Engineering as well. And as I said before, these are the 3 events that we have. We have the OSHO, Expo Prep, and then the Major Scoop. And so you can see the picture here is actually the OSHO that takes place the first Saturday before the semester begins. And here's some pictures with the different weekly meetings that take place. Some students decide to go hiking. Some students decide to go to a meal each time, or just hang out in the drill field or anything like that. So we always encourage the students to go out and take pictures of the different teams that are there, just to see, so you can see actually what's happening. And some of the benefits of the CEED Peer Mentoring Program, it's an opportunity for you to get professional development on a personal level. So it's not oversaturated with a bunch of students coming all at once, but you get that targeted information, targeted professional development that's there that a lot of students outside of CEED don't get. And then it's an opportunity for you to get the academic support that you need. You get advice from an upper class leader. And some of our mentors that are coming back next year actually served previously as mentors. So they liked it so much, they enjoyed getting to know the students so much that they decided to come back for this year, or for next year. And it paves the way for lifelong friendships. It gives you the opportunity to get friends and see who you can study with and all that stuff, so that you don't feel alone. So for students who aren't really interested in the community of the Live and Learning community, then this is still an opportunity for you to get to know other students within the College of Engineering. And so signups will happen soon. Signups don't open until late spring, early summer. So keep looking on the VT CEED website so that you can see when the signups are actually going to happen. But like I said, it'll be late May, early June for the signups for that. Then you'll also receive emails from me saying, hey, don't forget to sign up when it's available. Okay, so let's see. I know that we have some questions. Jordy said, if you're accepted to live in Hypatia or Galileo, how do you go about finding a roommate? So what's going to happen sometime in the summer, I will actually send out an email that gives you like the opportunity to sign up to put your information on a sign up sheet, and one of the other students who is also a part of Hypatia or Galileo will say, "Hey, I'm interested. Can we link up and have a conversation?" So it's really it's an informal matching that gives you the opportunity to see what someone likes, what they dislike, who likes to wake up early in the morning, who doesn't. Do you listen to music? Do you smoke? Do you not smoke? Do you do extracurricular activities? Do you not? Do you like to party? Do you like to listen to music? So it has all of these questions that you can ask that allows you the ability to match with someone. And Haritha, you wanted to answer this question as well?
Oh, I think you basically said everything. I went with, there are folks who go random roommates also, and I know that is like it can go either way. I know folks who went random roommate, they're still friends now. They tell they found their bridesmaid doing a random roommate, so it can really work. But don't like, I would just say, like, don't be extra nervous, or like don't push yourself too hard if you do not like cannot find your roommate like doing the matching, because sometimes they definitely do turn out really nicely even if you do random. So yeah.
Thank you. And I'm sorry, I'm going to give the three students on here an opportunity to introduce yourself. So can you give me your name, what year you are, and your experience within Hypatia? We can start with Haritha.
Sure, I can. So, hi, my name is Harita. I am currently a senior in computer engineering. So, hopefully, in a month or so, I should be graduating. I am. I have been a part of Galipasia for my all 4 years. So, I clearly loved being a part of the program, and I came back all 4 years. So, my freshman year, I started off in Hypatia Living Learning Community. Then I became a mentor and a committee member, and I've served in the outreach committee. So I did events not in Galipasia, but I did events like in the elementary schools and middle schools around like the New River Valley area. Then my junior year, I had the opportunity to co-found a team for international students, because I'm an international student myself, and I thought it'd be great in a diversity office to have an international support team specifically. And my senior year, I came back as one of the Galipasia leadership team members, so the GLT members. So right now I serve as a committee liaison for the Stable Mind Initiative. So I've been around here for a long time. So if you have any questions for me, put it in the chat. Jessica, you want to go next?
I'm sorry, really quick. And then Haritha, next year, what are your plans?
Okay, so next year I do plan to go to graduate school. So I have applied to be a graduate teaching assistant member at Galipasia. So who knows, I might be here next year and I will be teaching one of you guys, and I'll be super excited to like stand in one of my GTA's position and teach you guys. So fingers crossed. I'm still making decisions, but that is up in the air.
All right, so I'll go ahead and introduce myself. Hi, I'm Jessica. I'm a junior in mechanical engineering, and I started, of course, as a freshman in Hypatia, and I actually met Haritha my freshman year. She was like a side mentor to my other mentor because she was on my hall, so I was going to her for Calc 2 help like week 2. And then after that, I decided to stay on as a mentor because I really enjoyed it and I loved the sense of community. And so I got a group of like 4 girls and I loved helping to mentor them. And it was a good time. We worked through like some issues and I'm still in touch with them nowadays. And I also worked as a studio trainer. So I got to help in the studio training on the laser cutter. And that was fun to do every week and see what other things people would make because people made tons of stuff in the studio. And then I decided to apply to stay on as a GLT. So I'm here now as a mentor liaison and will be staying on as a mentor liaison for the coming year too.
My name is Kavya. I am a senior in material science and engineering, and I've been involved with Galipatia since my freshman year, like Haritha, I guess everyone. Me and Haritha were in the same year. I think we lived on different floors, but we still got to know each other somehow. I know. So I was a mentor as well. I mentored a group of 4 girls, and I really enjoyed that experience. I got to know them pretty well. I'm still in contact with a couple of them, catch up with them every once in a while. I was in the studio training committee like Jessica, but I eventually became a GLT member as a studio committee liaison, and that's what I'm currently right now, helping out with the power tools training and the soldering training and getting to organize different events that go on the studio. It's so much fun. Like when I first did it, it was just I could make all these cool things when the studio was open, and I really enjoy that experience a lot. And for next year, I will also be going to graduate school, but I will not be at Virginia Tech. I will be somewhere else, which has not been decided yet.
That's sad. We want to keep you here, but it's okay if you don't decide. So one question is, what do you look at to determine if a student should be admitted into Galileo and Hypatia? How selective is it? So it's selective. We have two questions that need to be answered. And it's pretty much just trying to see who you are, what you bring to the community, and then also what you know about the community. What do you know about being a part of Galileo and Hypatia? Why do you want to be a part of Galileo and Hypatia? Is it just so because your parents are making you? Because if so, honestly, we don't want anybody to be forced into being a part of the community. But did you really do your research about the things that we offer? Some of the important like corporate partners and stuff like that. So we ask you two questions. Why do you want to be a part of the community? And what will you bring to the community? And the review teams look at those answers. And we can tell if you put some effort and time into those, into the questions, because we get students who say that they heard about Galileo and Hypatia 3 years ago as an undergraduate student when their sister came to UT or VT, and they saw all the stuff that they wanted, that their sister or their sibling did, and it made them really want to come to Virginia Tech because they see what we had to offer. They wanted to have a mentor. They want to be able to live with people who have their same experiences, and then they talk about what they did in high school and all that stuff. So we want to hear all of that. We don't want you not to answer those questions. And where people honestly go wrong is when they don't fully answer the questions. So it's better, honestly, to the sooner you get the application in, the sooner you answer those questions and get the application in, the better it is for you. Because as long as you answer the questions in the essay, honestly, you have a very good chance of getting into the communities. But also keep in mind that you have to make sure that you do it sooner rather than later. What sort of amenities or furniture come in the rooms? So it's actually, let me go ahead and show you the video, because this answers pretty much all of your questions that you will have.
Hoge Hall, formerly known as Lee Hall, is the 8th floor co-ed residence hall located on Washington Street Southwest. It is home to over 800 students in Galileo and Hypatia engineering learning communities. Right in front of the building, on the campus-facing side, there are recreational facilities for students to use at any time. Hoge Hall is a close walk to Castle Coliseum, Schiffer Health Center, Lane Stadium, and most dining halls on the campus side. There are 4 main entrances to this building. 2 can be found facing Washington Street, and another 2 towards campus.
To enter the building, a valid Hoge passport is required to swipe to open the door. Amenities such as laundry rooms can be found on the ground and first floor. To do laundry, the Hoge passport is swiped to pay for the machine used, or coins can be inserted into a specific machine for operation. Vending machines can be found on both sides of the first floor and are available to use 24/7. And water refill stations are available on all floors and sides.
All entrances, elevators, and other various locations throughout the building have hand sanitizer dispensers and reminders to practice safe social distancing. Walking through Hoge Hall, students can find many locations inside to study, such as private study lounges on each floor. Here, students can work on homework assignments or study together at any time while following safety procedures such as wearing masks and social distancing.
Our hall features Studios 1 and 2, or Invent Studios, which are exclusive to the Gallipatia community. Here, students can learn to use laser cutters, 3D printers, and many other tools. They are also able to create their own projects with the tools provided. Another feature of Hoge Hall is a newly renovated study and activity space known as the second floor lounge. It is complete with a kitchen, private study room, ping pong table, multiple TVs, a single unisex bathroom, and plenty of seating to study or relax.
Student rooms are accessed through scanning the Hoge passport at the door and entering a personal PIN code. Each room is furnished with 2 beds, 2 desks, 2 chairs, 2 closets, and 2 dressers. There is also a sink and mirror with a medicine cabinet. There is plenty of room for personal customization and decoration of the room and its layout.
That's all for today, Hokies, and hopefully we'll see you on campus. Let's go, Hokies!
Okay. The let's go Hokies always gets me at the end. Okay, so let's get back to the questions. Are the first year classes far from Hypatia and Galileo building? What's transportation like on campus? So can one of Kavya, can you go ahead and answer that?
Yeah, so in terms of like placement on the residential side, Hoge Hall is right next to Washington Street, so you will have to like walk the residence side of campus and then across the drill field to get to classes. Some classes are on the residential side, but most of them are going to be on the other side of campus. But if you don't want to walk across the drill field when it's really cold and there are wind chills, there are buses that will take you from Washington Street, and they will drop you off near like the dining halls and things like that. There's no shame in doing this. I did that for almost the entirety of my sophomore year. One, because I did not care to wake up that early for my classes, and it was too cold to walk across the drill field. So definitely it's doable in terms of that. And the buses are typically on time unless there's something wrong with traffic.
Ella asked, are mentor groups randomly assigned or selected by mentees? So the mentor groups are randomly assigned. What we try to do is once you sign up to be a part of the community, during your participation agreement or when signing the participation agreement, you're going to put some of your interests and things like that on there. And so what we do with that is we pair you with a mentor and other students who fit that same or who have about the same interests and things like that. Is the application process different if I want to apply before accepting my admissions offer? Haritha, do you want to go ahead and answer that?
Sure. So if you have not accepted your admissions offer, there is a separate link to apply. I remember DeAnna mentioned that during the presentation. We can put in that link on the chat also. So that is the link you should be applying. I think it's the same 2 essay questions you're still asked. You apply pretty much the same way. It's just that we have a separate link for folks who have not accepted their offer. But we highly, highly suggest do not go ahead and apply on the separate portal, which you would be getting access to once you have accepted the offer, because as DeAnna mentioned, it is harder for us to track commonalities. So if you have turned in an application once, we will look at it. We will not miss it. So you do not need to apply twice.
Yeah, do not apply twice. Please do not apply twice. So first, Ryan, first generation college students are included in that group of, when I said underrepresented minorities. So underrepresented minorities for the purposes of CEED would be, or in general in higher education, is first generation college students. We also have Black students, students who come from low socioeconomic backgrounds, and then some other ethnic and different races as well. So yes, to answer your question, first generation college students can be a part of CEED. And does everyone in the program get a mentor, or can you choose to have one or not? So everyone in CEED, or everyone in Galileo and Hypatia, have to have a mentor. So it's a package deal. So if you're not interested in having a mentor, then you would not be able to be a part of the Galileo and Hypatia community. And that's because there's actually assignments and things that are tied to your mentor. So attending your weekly mentor meetings for the first 10 weeks is actually a grade for the Galileo and Hypatia first year seminar courses. And the mentor actually it's not there to be an extra burden on you, but it's actually there to help support you as a student. Because sometimes what we have learned is that, especially for our underrepresented minority students, is that you don't know where to go to get answers to questions. And so that mentor would be that resource that will get you to where you need to go, and be able to show you the right way to go about doing things and to get the right answers. And someone said, how competitive again is Galileo? Galileo is quite competitive. And the spaces for Galileo will fill up before Hypatia. For Hypatia, last year, I think we went into like the second week of May, making decisions on Hypatia, but in Galileo, we were done by mid-April with the applications for Galileo. So it's very competitive. Unfortunately, Haley, you cannot be a part of Galileo or Hypatia during your first year if you do not live in Hoge Hall. So you have to live in Hoge Hall in order to be a part of Hypatia and Galileo. For the mentorship program, for the CEED Peer Mentoring Program, which is different for the Hypatia and Galileo mentor program, it's not an application process, it's just a registration process for you. So you don't necessarily, it's not a competitive type of, you have to apply in order to get in, but you actually just register for it. And Jessica, if you want to answer this one, I see that you were interested in that one. I am a junior in high school. Is it really too early to apply? When should I apply next year?
So I believe, it is a little early to apply, but we would love for you to apply next year. Come January is when we first open like our applications, and you should look to apply then, and go ahead and get your application in early, because as we said, you can apply before you accept your status. So go for it.
Definitely. And if you're looking to apply, if you're going into your senior year this year, as in the fall of 2021, if you're going to be a senior, Virginia Tech does have an early decision process where you can actually apply to get into the university I think the deadline is sometime in November, and you'll get a decision in December. And so you can be among the first group of students who get your decision to get whether or not you're going to get accepted into Virginia Tech. And then right after that, you can apply for Galileo and Hypatia or Hypatia.
Can I add something over here?
Mm-hmm.
So if you're in school and you're in like junior year or your sophomore year, definitely we have a lot of pre-college programs, and we have a lot of folks who take part in our pre-college programs, like in the summer after their junior year or the summer after their sophomore year, they attend one of our pre-college programs in the summer, come here, live with us, and then they do apply. We have a lot of folks who like apply that way also. So if you really want to come on campus, be with us before you start your college. That's a great experience. We have programs that even last as long as 2 weeks. So it's a good time for you to like get used and to like campus. And also like after your senior year, the summer, we have pre-college programs if you accept your offer to Virginia Tech. So definitely check them out also on our CEED website if you really want to get started on early. Some of them are great. I've worked on some of them. I had a great time with all the school students who came 2 summers ago.
So Adam, anyone can live in Hypatia and Galileo and participate in CEED. So it's not restricted only to underrepresented minorities, but we did CEED was created initially to help underrepresented minorities, but not being an underrepresented minority does not exclude you from being a part of CEED and for actually applying for the different opportunities that we have. What are some of the pre-college programs available for current juniors? If I'm not mistaken, CTech Squared is an opportunity for rising juniors and seniors, but that's only for women. And then we also have the Pathways program, which is for first generation college students. We also have, there's so many different Blast, we have Imagination, So we have several different opportunities for K through 12. Some of those opportunities, some of the opportunities have closed for the summer. But there are still some opportunities that are still available. Most of them have a cost to them this year. Since it's going to be virtual, it's going to be cheaper. Usually when it's in person, it's around $2,000, depending on the camp and depending on the duration of the camp. But for this year, if I'm not mistaken, just to cover the cost of like materials and things like that, the camps cost around $250. Or a little less, a little more, but I know that I remember seeing the 250 mark. And we do have someone specifically, Dr. Kim Lester, who is in charge of, she's a director of all of the K through 12 programs that we have.
So as for biking, yes, it is a viable option. I did it a lot my freshman year. I will say that you do have to find a lot of the bike paths because it's kind of hilly, so there are a lot of stairs. So you will have to find bike paths, but once you find them, they're easy enough to use. You can easily cross like the drill field and get up into the academic side of campus, and there's bike racks literally everywhere. So even if you just want to bike from like the dorm into like academic side, there's like racks right along that too, as well as further up in there. So you don't have to worry about that. As well as also if you need to take your bike on a bus for some reason, they actually have bike racks on the fronts of buses. So you could just like put it up there and then get on and then get it once you get off. So as for like transportation, you shouldn't have any issues because buses are free. You have your Hoge P, that's part of like your tuition. You just show it and they let you go ahead.
Thank you.
I think there was one follow-up question to which we had not answered, like what's the transportation like on campus? We answered that. So how long is the walk on average? It depends where your classes are. Most of the engineering classes are across the drill field, so it would be a minimum 10 to 15-minute walk on your pace. Like most of the engineering classes are in like Randolph Hall, McBride, which is like pretty close. But I think the farthest place you will have to get to as an engineer in your freshman year is Goodwin Hall, which is like a 20-minute walk. It's not too bad if you do it with your friends. I never hit the gym my freshman year because I had to go to Goodwin to see my advisor. You will definitely need to go to that building because that's where all the engineering advisors situate themselves. So I would be like, okay, I'm not going to go to the gym because I'm going to do this 20-minute quote unquote hike on campus. So around 15 to 25 minutes maximum, but nothing more than that.
And there's one question asking, can you be part of the Hypatia Galileo community if you don't live in Hoge Hall? You do have to live in the dorm your freshman year to be a part of the community. If you're interested in CEED and that kind of environment, there are peer mentoring programs you can do outside of the Galileo community, and you do get to be set up with people who will give you that mentorship, and you can also be a mentor yourself. But for Galileo, you do have to live in Hoge your first year.
Oh, we have a fun question.
Mm-hmm.
I can go on and on, so I'll go last about this. But favorite places to eat on campus? Everybody wants to go?
You can start. I need a second to consider because I love a lot.
Actually, I'm going to start off because I haven't had the opportunity to eat on campus. I started in March of last year, and then Corona happened, and so I have not been able to eat on campus. But I hear all of the time how great Virginia Tech's food is, and apparently it's better than most places that I've ever worked or been at for college, because a lot of people say college food is horrible, but at Virginia Tech it's not that way.
No, it's not. I would say, okay, I think I would say this. I'm a vegetarian who's lactose intolerant and I'm allergic to chocolates. So, quite the dietary restrictions, and I can see the shock on DeAnna's face. And a lot of people, I think, would be shocked. But I have had so many vegetarian options that I never had to repeat a meal in a week. And my favorite place to go was West End Market, which is very close to Lee, or like very close to Hoge Hall. I'm sorry if we call it Lee Hall. It was Lee Hall all of my undergraduate, and it just changed last year. But at West End, I literally loved every booth over there. But they used to make cauliflower wrap, Asian cauliflower wrap, and that was my favorite one. I got it to a point where like the person at the counter who was a full-time employee knew my order on the back of his head. So that's how often I went there. And that was my favorite place on campus to eat, because they had a lot of vegetarian options, and for vegetarian options for lactose intolerant folks, because you could customize always the no cheese part.
Well, as hard as it is to pick a favorite, I definitely liked eating at Turner's, because they have so many options, but like I end up eating at like the fire, like it's Fire Grill, but there's like the Southern comfort food and then also like the grill side too. So you get like anything from like fried chicken to beef stroganoff to like fried fish. Like they have a wide range, so I like going there for a lot of variety. But honestly, you can't go wrong with most of the food on campus.
I'm sad I missed this. Like I want to be able to experience that this year. So Jessica's gonna have to take me to this place when everything opens back up next year.
It's fine. We'll take you to all the places. And for those who care, there is a Chick-fil-A on campus. It's known as Hoge Grill.
My favorite place would probably be it'd either be Turner's, because I love the hibachi there, one of the best places ever, and then West End, mainly because me and my friend did this one time when we had too much money on our Hoge P, and we needed to like use it because we didn't want to give it back to the school and waste it. So it was, I don't know if it was every day, but every other day we would get like one of the most expensive things at West End. Sometimes it was lobsters, sometimes it was like soup in one of those like bowls, and it was the best time ever. So that West End has a place in my heart because
I forgot about the lobster. That is pretty good.
When I was in college, we didn't have lobster. I feel cheated. We didn't have lobster. Oh, wow. Okay. Sorry. There's someone who have a question over here. Stella says, is there a post office mailroom in Hypatia? Can someone talk about how the mailing system works?
Well, so it used to be that you would pick up bigger packages in Owens Hall. They have a package mailroom where you'd go up to pick packages up. Nowadays, I think they actually have little centers, and you go there to pick up your packages, and it's basically like a big mailbox, and you'll know because they'll always send you an email saying, hey, you got this package at this date, and if you don't pick it up within a certain amount of time, they'll send it back. But hopefully the restrictions on that won't be as complicated next year because they won't have to quarantine packages for quite so long. But I will say to mail things out, you'll have to probably go to a mailbox or the post office or UPS store. But there's a UPS store in downtown Blacksburg. You can walk there. It's a 15-minute walk to downtown Blacksburg. You're really close by. So it's not like you have to go through traffic or anything. You can walk there and they'll just mail stuff off for you.
And for drop-off boxes, I am positive I've seen 3 on campus. One is actually in the engineering building you'll definitely have a class in. In Randolph Hall, in the first floor, there is a pickup for UPS. They pick up, I think, every day at 5 p.m. So as long as you get it in before, check the time. It might vary, but there are like pickup boxes for UPS around campus. So it is kind of beneficial. So if you do not want to make the walk to downtown and just like drop it off on your way to class, you can do that. And Amazon shipments come to your door. At least they did pre-COVID times. That's when I lived on campus. So hopefully we can go back to that normalcy this fall or very soon by the time you get to Virginia Tech. But it's a nice thing. I know a lot of folks who order a lot of their dorm room supplies because they come from out of state. A lot of folks fly in from half across the country, so they do not bring everything. So they just like order in everything to the dorm and they pretty much come to your door. So, kind of nice.
Christina did ask about move-in. If you're participating in either the CEED Peer Mentoring Program or into Hypatia and Galileo, then for Hypatia and Galileo, you have to move in by that Friday before the semester begins. So that's August 20th, if I'm not mistaken. And then for the CEED Peer Mentoring Program, you would have to make sure that you're here before Osho starts, which is that Saturday. So while you have that option to move in whenever, you would want to make sure that you have your move-in scheduled to be before the O show starts, especially for Galileo and Hypatia. And that's because it's a part of your class. And also for both programs, it's the chance for you to be able to meet your peer mentor before the semester starts. So you'll hear from your peer mentor in early August, and then you'll be able to meet your peer mentor and the mentor team that you'll be working with throughout the first 10 weeks during O-Show.
There's also one about pay and how you pay at VT. So for students, as for how you will be paying for most things, it's going to be with your Hoge P. You'll get a student ID when you first come for your orientation. They'll take a picture of you that day. So look pretty. Yeah, that's an example of one. So make sure you like how you look that day, because that's how you're going to look on your ID for the next 4 years.
Really quick, it's going to be different for IDs for this year. And that's because orientation for this year is virtual again. So they will send you information on what to do or how to get your Hoge P.
It'll probably be when you first move in, you'll have to sign up for a time slot and you'll go in. It's like a 5-minute process. It's not a long thing. But once you have this Hoge P, your parents or you may have paid the tuition online through a Hoge Wallet portal. And that's something that you'll get instructions on how to set up and do when you first say, I'm going to this school and I'm accepted. And then that Hoge P will have your money, and it will also be your key into your room and stuff. So it's important to keep a hold of it. That way, it automatically, when you swipe it at dining halls, it will automatically pay for the stuff that you need. So that's how you pay for most things on campus.
But a nice thing about Hoge P is that you can use it as a debit card also. So there are places on campus like Squires and other places where you can put money into your Hoge P. So I can put in $20 of money into my Hoge P, and you can swipe it at the convenience store below Dietrich Hall. So you can buy daily convenience stuff. There are a lot of restaurants around Blacksburg who are really nice. They accept Hoge P money. So you can basically put in money into the Hoge P and swipe them. So you don't need to always carry a credit card around you if you do not want to. And you can put in money on the Hoge P for doing your laundry also. So in the video, we saw somebody tap their Hoge P in front of the machine and they could pay. So if you do not want to do the whole quarters, you could always put in money into your Hoge Passport and do laundry. So there are a couple of nice things about the Hoge P, but do not lose it. That is the only thing, because getting into your room can be slightly harder, but you can always find folks to let you in. There is a process which your residential advisor will go through of if you lose your Hoge P, what happens. But other than dining services, you can use it at a couple of spaces too.
So put simply, the Hoge P is your lifeline for everything at Virginia Tech. So don't lose it, or you're going to be stuck for forever and not be able to do anything else.
On that subject, someone asked, is there a way to keep track of the money on the Hoge P? Yes, there is. Depending on what you're using it for, there's a student portal known as Hoge Spa, and you can actually go in there and check all your purchases. It'll have them listed out. It'll also say your current balance. Or if you're thinking food-wise, there's actually a cheat sheet that you can go into Grubhub, and it'll tell you how much is on your Hoge P. So you can use either method. There's also an app you can download if you just want to have all your finances easy to access. So they'll give more information about that in the orientation info.
Oh,
go ahead.
Oh no, you can. I just wanted to add one thing I forgot was, I think this is the thing I used it for the most. You have printers in the library, so you can put money into your Hoge P and you can print out over there. It's 13 cents per printer copy, and the color is slightly more, but this is for black and white. And they have a lot of machines over there. It's pretty fancy. You have quite a number of tools you want for printing and basically I want to say alignment and things like that. So you can do that also with your Hoge P. It's a pretty neat system. I enjoyed it all of freshman year when I had to print for my labs.
And then there's a few questions about meal plans and stuff like that. We the meal plans information changes each year. So you will have to look onto StarRes once you apply or once you accept your offer here. And StarRes has all of the information for you that deals with your meal plans and things. I would also suggest to go to the housing website, and that has all of the information that you will need to know about how the meal plans work and everything. We don't want to give you incorrect information about the meal plans because we know that things change. And since we don't work for housing, I don't want to give you information that is not currently updated. So let's see, when does information about orientation come out? So you should receive information about orientation soon. If I'm not mistaken, you have the ability to sign up for orientation. Orientation is from June 14th or 15th or something like that, or a little before then until sometime in July. So it's a little over a month long process. But once you get accepted, they should send you something that says, hey, it's time for you to sign up for orientation. But that information is coming to you all soon as they'll do a mass email saying, hey, everyone, this is when you have to sign up for orientation. Excuse me. And then I know that you're also going to have to sign up for a time to meet with your academic advisor for next year as well. And so you'll get all of that information from those different offices soon. And then for next year, someone asked, are the majority of classes supposed to be in person next school year? Next semester or next year, we are planning to be fully in person. So the university just came out and said that everything is going to be in person in the fall semester. So that means that all of your classes will be in person, which also means that all of our events and activities that we have that are associated with Hypatia and with the CEED Peer Mentoring Program are in person. And you see them cheering. And it's really because it's been a real struggle for us not to be able to see our students for this year and not to have things in person. So we are excited about it. I know that the summertime, they're going to roll out slowly but surely having things in person. But the university is also going to come with the policies on how things are supposed to work for the fall time. But we won't have that until sometime in the summer. So, but we do know at this point in time, until they tell us something different, that the fall will be in person.
I sure hope it's going to be in person.
You and me both. I'm excited about seeing the new students. Alexander said, is the cost of Hypatia any different versus not? No, everything is included. It's the same thing. So there's no additional cost to be a part of Hypatia. I know that when you look on the website at housing, it says something to the effect of it's $100, but that everything is already incorporated into what you're spending or into your tuition and fees. So there is no additional cost for Hypatia. So if you have any additional questions or concerns, you can feel free to reach out. All of my information is on the CEED website. So if you ever have any questions, concerns, if something doesn't make sense to you, or if you need additional clarification for anything, please feel free to reach out to me. I'm more than willing and able to answer any questions that you may have. So hopefully you all will join us and apply to be a part of Hypatia for next year or the CEED Peer Mentoring Program. And hopefully I'll see some of your names in the application soon.
Thanks for coming, y'all.
All righty. Have a good night, everybody.